Hey, thanks for clicking on my face. I'm the only channel where I'm a blind film critic that looks like I'm filming my videos to look like hostage negotiations from what I've been told, so there's something. And if you want more of this, click subscribe, and I'll appear in your feed looking like... Has nobody paid for him yet? Is anybody gonna pay the ransom? Anyway, I'm John Stark from MacMovieGuy.com, and today we're going to continue to talk about another streaming service, a little bit off the beaten path, and celebrate the fact that they are offering audio description. This is At Eternity's Gate, which is currently available on Tubi. Now, these fast services, fast channels, they do have heavy turnover. So by the time you watch this video, it could be gone. So, I don't know. Anyway, but currently, since the last time I reviewed my first Tubi title, which was Minari, we have increased from roughly, it was somewhere between 30 and 40 movies to like over 100. Granted, a lot of those sound absolutely terrible. They sound like Tubi is where the asylum has gone to die. If anybody remembers the asylum and all of the terrible films that they've made, it sounds like they're making films for Tubi now. There are films that Tubi has audio description on that the only way I'm ever going to review them is if Tubi pays me. So that's the only way they ever get reviewed. Not watching them. But they do have some that are mainstream films, and there you go. And they're actually starting to describe TV shows. Interestingly enough, reality shows. So keep Tubi on your list, guys, because they're way above 100 right now. So anyway, this film, At Eternity's Gate, is described by Tansy Alexander, who's a boss. She's a fantastic narrator who describes tons of things, and is written by TJ Reardon. And we're going to give a writer a shout out because this description is written really well. It's just fantastic audio description. But why is it fantastic? Don't you want to know? That's why you're here. So let's talk about it. This is a film about Vincent van Gogh. This is Willem Dafoe giving a tour de force performance. When does he not give it? I mean, okay, so he's been in a couple bad films, so I can't really truly say that. When does he not give? But even when he's in a terrible film, he still is like really committed to the role. Unless the role is like non-existent. Sometimes he plays somebody who just kind of like hangs out in the corner and gives some wisdom, and then he leaves. But still, it's like Willem Dafoe, so whatever. But he is really wrapped up in playing this version of Vincent van Gogh, and it's nice to see him in this film. This is a very artistic film. This is definitely art house cinema. It feels art house cinema to me. This feels like something that I wouldn't have seen at a major theater. I would have seen this at my art house theater. I have a little one-screen art house theater. This feels like I would have seen that there. It feels like that's right where it's supposed to be. You know, it's not supposed to be in one of those, 250-seat stadium screens. You're supposed to see this in some weird sort of, is this a movie theater? Is this a cafe? What did this used to be type of theaters? Like, what space was this before we made it a movie theater? Yeah, it's very artistic, but it's a film about an artist, so it should be artistic. And it makes a lot of really interesting choices. There are lots of moments where Vincent is painting, and the audio description comes in. This is where we're going to talk about TJ the boss with the writer. Oh my God. There are times when, Vincent is being sort of enveloped by the world around him, and just nature, flowers, and he's like walking outside, and it's just everything is hitting him, and it's talking about paintings and drawings, and all of that visual stuff all gets translated to us as much as humanly possible. because it's like Vincent is having a visual experience, so we need to have that visual experience. And the only way to do that is to describe all the different colors of the flowers and the scenery around him, and to try to see what Vincent sees, to try to see the world as Vincent sees it. Because that's so important for what this film's trying to say and convey and do, is that you see this film as Vincent sees the world. And that is where the audio description has its strength. There are several scenes in which you will forget the film has audio description because he'll get caught in a conversation and there really isn't a stopping point to it. And I find it hard to sort of interject into those scenes and bring anything into that, because Vincent may be talking to his brother. He could be talking to Paul Gauguin. He could be talking to a doctor, somebody in the film. But mostly this is to talk about Vincent the artist. No matter where he is, he's always an artist. It doesn't matter if he's poor, penniless, if he's, having conversations with another great artist like Paul Gauguin, who is played in this film by Oscar Isaac. It doesn't matter if he is in a hospital and he's been committed somewhere and where he is still churning out paintings, where he was more concerned. He's like, yeah, I'll go there, but can I still paint? Can I still draw? Is that allowed? He's always concerned with his art. He feels like God put him on this earth to do this thing, but nobody likes it. And it's crazy because now it's, he's Vincent van Gogh, but he doesn't know he's Vincent van Gogh. It's really interesting how the film plays with that Vincent thinks he's been cursed with this, but he feels no other outlet for it. Like, he can't do anything else. It plays a little bit with the fact that Vincent is probably mentally ill of some degree, although it never really fully diagnoses him with that, but it does play with the fact that he, he feels these forces against him, and a little bit of maybe a little bit going into, I hear these voices, inside of me type of thing. But nobody ever really says, oh, he has this. Oh, this is his problem. This is what's going on with him. They're just worried about him, especially when he cuts off his ear. So that happens. In case you didn't know that about Vincent van Gogh and you didn't know that was a famous painting of his. Surprise. So that does happen in this film. And that is just further concerning them. The other major cast member to point out here is Rupert Friend, who plays Dafoe's brother, who is not wealthy himself, but tries to send Vincent some money so that he can live not on the street, because Vincent has committed himself to this little community and painting, and he's not really from there, so everybody thinks he's weird. I think he's this weird guy who keeps walking around asking if he can draw them. And of course things get worse when Paul Gauguin does actually sell some artwork. And Vincent kind of goes off the deep end a little bit there. So, it's kind of a biopic, but it's kind of a really interesting look at Vincent, and it surmises a lot. There's something that happens at the end of the film that it says Vincent never talked about, but it also doesn't answer the question of how we know. So it says this thing happened, but it also says Vincent never talked about it. So if he didn't talk about it, and who did talk about it? How do we know this? It didn't answer that question. It's just like, ooh, it's ambiguous. There are times when Vincent describes things, or somebody describes what Vincent's been doing, and Vincent is like, I have no memory of that. And we haven't necessarily seen that happen in the film. So it plays with that idea of what reality are we seeing? Are we seeing Vincent's reality, or the reality? What is actually going on in this film? So it's a very interesting film, and it's very artistic, and I think for some people it will bore them really quickly. It's very meditative and quiet at times, and then other times it wants to hold your attention just with a really simple dialogue. It drops the score out, and you just have to sit there and listen. And it's not big and boisterous, especially for blind people. When I talk about my audience and my people, this is a film about an artist, and he's drawing things on paper. So you're pretty much fully relying on the narrator to be able to describe to you what it is that he's drawing, what it is that he's experiencing. Even, not that we're ever in a situation where we're allowed to ever go up and touch some of these famous works. Can't go up and feel Starry Night, you know. But, you know, in some situations when it's like a lesser artist who might allow you to touch the canvas and feel the art and have a better understanding of what it is that's going on, you don't get any of that through film. You can touch your TV screen, that's not going to tell you anything, you know. So it's all reliant upon the narrator, and I think this is really good audio description from TJ and from Tansy at Zoo Digital. So I just wanted to give them a huge shout out within the context of this video. This is what I talk about, audio description, all the time, and why we need it, and why it's awesome, why it works, and how it changes the experience for us. The other thing I really want to mention is, even though I love Willem Dafoe, the thing that stole the whole movie for me is I loved the score. I love the score to this film. Like, every time, almost irrationally so, every time like dialogue would start and like the score would drop out, I would get really angry. It's like very minimalistic, and the piano, and it's not a traditional score where you feel like it's like you know where it's going. And I don't know. It just really worked for me. It really just highlighted this film perfectly. I think the score is brilliant. It's very standout to me, and I could just listen to it all the time. It's not John Williams. It's not one of those big sweeping scores. It's not, you know, anything like that. It's not Hans Zimmer. It's just really interesting, really intriguing, and I liked it a lot. So thank you for the score. This is on Tubi, like I said, so please make sure to check it out. It's a free service. You don't have to even subscribe to it. This is, if you are watching this and you're part of blind and visually impaired community and you're not watching these audio described titles on Tubi, perhaps you don't know how to find them. It's like a genre for you if you have, you know, Max or any other service. What else does it? Netflix has it. There are some services that have it listed as a genre, and you have to select the genre, and it will take you to the audio description titles, and show you only audio described titles, and that way you can pick At Eternity's Gate from there. And from there, when I picked it from that list, I didn't have to turn it on. I mean, there was a button that that was for subtitles in AD. I actually watched this on my phone, and there was a button for that, but it was already on because I had chosen it through the audio description category, so it knew that that was what I wanted. So it's designed perfectly that way. Please watch. Let Tubi know, because they're expanding at a really impressive rate. Like I said, they've more than tripled their content in a month. So this could be something that could be really interesting for us in terms of having a free service with large amounts of audio description. So I'm going to give At Eternity's Gate an A-. I liked it. I liked it a lot. I don't think it's perfect, but I liked it a lot. So it's up there. Let me know what you think in the comments. Did you like it At Eternity's Gate? Do you like really artistic films? How do you feel like films that are based around art translate? Anyway, all those sorts of complicated conversations we can have in the comments. I will, I have a website, MacMovieGuy.com. You can go to Twitter or X, I guess it's called now. I don't know. You can go to Twitter, Instagram, or Threads and follow me at Mac Movie Guy. You can go to the audio description project, adp.acb.org. It'll let you know what films have audio description and where you can watch them. You can select a service like Tubi and just see the list of titles. You can also go to the ADNA.org where you can look up TJ and Tansy and see what other credits they have to their names, because it's like IMDb for people who work in audio description. So that's it. I will watch something else for you guys. You'll click subscribe so you can watch it, and I will see you on the other side.